Welcome to Strictly Hockey. I'm Jacob Brown, joined here with Steve Cashin and Adam Kupferman. And today we're just going to talk about hockey. That's what the name of the show is. We're going to do it. First of all, how you guys doing? Adam, I know you went to the game last night, Lightning Panthers. But first, I know Steve's got some words of wisdom for us about that whole situation, how that deal's gone out with the Panthers and Lightning. So take it away, Steve.
Yeah, congrats to the Panthers. I don't know if everyone missed the presentation last night, but they won the Stanley Cup. They actually won it. They rolled it out, and they won the first month Stanley Cup trophy. The fan base wins a couple games, 2 out of 3. I'll give it to them. They took it to us, the 2 out of 3 games. Lightning came out slow, kind of got punched in the face a little bit, but it's early. It's the first month of the season. I'm not going to go. I'm taking it with a grain of salt. The fan base, I guess, doesn't know how to act. I guess they have no idea how hockey works. Jan Ruda, 3 brutal turnovers last night. Their backup goalie plays a couple games, and you put a couple 6 spots up. And Vasilevsky starts game 2 and gives up 1 goal. Vetrano rips it in the slot. That's their only goal in that second game. So I take it for what it is. Good for them. They're a quick team. They're a lot better than I think people expect. But do I see this Panthers team beating Lightning in a 7-game series? Absolutely not. I've been saying it for 3 games straight. This team cannot skate with us. Kucherov, arguably the best player in the NHL, not playing this whole season. So that come playoff time, different story. Stamkos out game 1. Stamkos out game 2, but still they played solid. Cirelli's out. A lot of things going, working in not in the Lightning's favor, but I'll give it for the Panthers. I'll give it where credit's due. They're quick. They jumped on us, and that's what it is. But it's still a long way to go, and it's just so early in this NHL season where there's not a whole lot going on. Everyone's so tight. Teams are playing each other 5-6 games in a row, but it is what it is. And a nice job by Florida, I guess, last night.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the Joel Quenneville effect starting to take place. You can see that team starting to turn a corner and become a good team in this league. Now, it's still early in the season. I know they played Detroit a bunch. They played fucking Curtis McElhinney twice. It's a small sample size, but I do like where this team is headed. They're skating hard. They're getting in on the forecheck. They're good, decent defensively. I like where this team is headed. I don't think they're anywhere near the Lightning in terms of skill and, come playoff time, I think you're going to see that. But this team is heading in the right direction as far as, their work ethic and learning how to win games.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the Panthers roster. Their defense is still bad. They didn't do anything to improve that. They got Radko Gudas and acted like that was a revolutionary move on defense. Yandel is terrible. I mean, I watched the game. I got home from work with like 6-7 minutes. CJ's texting me like, dude, what a game. You got to put this on. It's blacked out in my area, so I put it on Crack Street. First thing I see Yandel, he has a turnover within the first 30 seconds of me watching. I'm like, okay, this defense is bad. Bobrovsky, did he start that game? Was he taken out?
No,
last night?
Yeah.
No, Drieger played all game.
Oh, so, okay, yeah. So, I mean, Bobrovsky's still been a problem, though. So let's not act like, the Panthers are winning games. We just forget that Bobrovsky is still mediocre to below league average at best with that contract they're paying him. So they're all happy right now. It's the first quarter of the season. They're winning games. Anytime you're a fan and you see that, you're like, wow, we see everything that's good about the team, but we don't want to recognize anything that's bad. The defense is still bad. The goaltending is still a problem, and that's going to be the case the whole season. Let's see them play the Lightning more across the season when the Lightning are completely healthy. Let's see them play Dallas more. Let's see them play Carolina when they're more complete. Columbus even. I think they'll have trouble with them a few times. So the Panthers hype train is up there. I understand why they're scoring goals. I love Duclair. I think he's been a revelation on offense for them, even though they always had a great offense, but he's a big guy, drives with the puck. He has size, grit, all that, great skill. Barkov's been great. Owen Tippett scored his first NHL goal last night, so if he can get it going, that'll be nice for them. And, I know if CJ listens to this one, he won't like this conversation that we're having, but we still need to see it from the Panthers. This Lightning series was not the series that we go, oh, Panthers are legit. We need to see it. I'm even saying let's wait for the playoffs. Nothing in the regular season will determine anything, not just for the Panthers, but for anyone this year. And we can get into that now because the playoff format, Steve, you were texting us last night, it's kind of BS.
Yeah, and just a quick wrap up on the Panthers Lightning talk too is you made a great point. It's like, hey, let's see them play Carolina, some Dallas, and the Lightning haven't played. They've played in Nashville a few times. I believe Florida played them 2 times. But yeah, we're going. The Lightning are going to the Dallas series starting Thursday, Saturday, and then they play Carolina 3 in a row. And those 2 teams are going to be in the thick of the 4-team race in this division. So Florida, it's 4 weeks into a young season. After Saturday, they all played Detroit 6 times. So I'm not high on any team yet in the season. This isn't a Florida Panthers parade, but I'm just taking it for what it is. I see what this team's 10-2. They're a good hockey team, but we're 4 weeks in. We can't be jumping on anyone. Even the Boston Bruins have played good hockey. The Maple Leafs have played great hockey, but I'm not going to jump on any team and be like, hey, they're going to win the cup. It's a long season, and that leads us to the division talk. And I was sitting on the couch last night talking to my dad. I was like, we're looking at standings, and the Central right now, it's Tampa 20, 21 points. Then it's 20, 20, and 20 with Chicago, Carolina, and I believe Columbus has 20 points. I could be wrong, but
like Chicago's a total fluke. That's going away.
500, and they're 500 teams. So in this division format, and y'all can take the lead from here, but it's you're playing each team 8 times. St. Louis and Phoenix, or Arizona, I should say, just played a 7-game series straight. That's unheard of in a normal regular season. I think it should have been. NHL really dropped the ball on this. It should have been split the division in half. So you've got the Rangers division. Get 4 teams, play 4 in the Central. Take the other 4, and they play the other 4. That way there's some parity in this NHL season where you can get some separation. Right now, you've got teams that are playing, 3 games straight. Panthers took 2 out of 3. They gained nothing in the standings through that. And you have so many teams going to overtime, dragging points. So there's no reward for teams that go to overtime. It's only you either lose a point or you gain 1 point. There's no traction in this season. So I think if you would have mixed it up, and the NHL could have done it. This Central division's all messed up. You got Chicago flying down to Tampa. They did it for travel reasons. Come on, it's BS. We could have done that with the Boston division, and they could have flown down here. So it's the way they did it's just very odd, and I hate this format a ton.
Honestly, the travel thing, the only thing that fucks it up is Canada, because the NBA is traveling like normal, and Toronto just came down to Tampa, played Amalie. So the NBA is doing the same exact thing they always do. The NHL is just fucked because they have 7-8 teams up in Canada, and they can't. You can't have 8 Canadian teams playing in American arenas. There's not enough places to put them or whatever. So. It's annoying looking at this division stuff. I mean, when I look at the schedule, and I see the Rangers, they play Boston back to back, and then you get Philadelphia, and then you get New Jersey. And it's like, well, I kind of want to play some of those other teams, see where we match up against the rest of the league. And I think the biggest one is the Canadian division, because you look at that one, Toronto would not be the team they are right now. I like Montreal a lot. They would not be the team that they are right now. Edmonton with Koskinen in net, I think they'd be below 500. Their defense is dog shit. So Vancouver too. I mean, I called this at the beginning of the season. What did they do at goaltender? They let Markstrom go, and your answer's a washed up Braden Holtby and Thatcher Demko. So the Canadian division might be the worst in the league, and it just looks good because of what Toronto and Montreal are doing. So the pain in the ass thing is we're literally not going to know which teams are good and which teams are bad until next season, or really until the second, third round of the playoffs. Because even the first round of the playoffs, you're going to be having divisions playing divisions there too. And so we're literally not going to know until semifinal conference finals what this is about.
Yeah. I mean, think about it like this. Edmonton and Calgary, they're playing each other 10 times in the regular season, I believe.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah. Geez.
Like that. What happens if they match up in the first round? You have 2 teams playing each other 17 times.
Yeah, like come on.
It goes 7. Like that's unheard of. That's ridiculous. I agree. It's a bitch with Canada and trying to get the travel going, but I do agree that even come playoff time, you could have done a bubble. You could have done a 1-8 format and just tried to do something like that. It would have been a lot smoother. Would have gotten different matchups. it's going to get repetitive for fans, I think, even come around playoff time. Like if St. Louis and Arizona match up in the playoffs, like, do you think that's going to get ratings? People are going to be like, well, I already saw this essentially. I think it's going to be boring. But this Canadian division, I mean, we were talking about, I can remember some people saying, oh, this is going to be the best division. There's so many good teams. You got Toronto, who obviously, they were fighting for an Atlantic Division title last year. They were, they made the play-in rounds. Montreal, obviously, they made the playoffs last year. Winnipeg, Edmonton, Calgary. The only team who didn't make the bubble was Ottawa. So people are looking at this Canadian division like, oh, hey, this is going to be a great division, competitive hockey, good hockey. No, this division is horrible. There's no goaltending outside of Carey Price. There's zero goaltending in this division.
Well, no. Markstrom in Calgary has been pretty good. He's been. No, I'll look up his stats right now. He's been really good.
These teams can't play defense. That's the factor.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. I think a lot of these goaltenders are getting left to dry. You look at this Toronto team. I don't know. It's a mix of both. Montreal's got a great goaltender in Carey Price, but they have some defensive lapses at times. Ottawa's they're 4-12-1 with 9 points. So each team in that division gets to play Ottawa 9 times. So we got to you look at these alignments and it's like, all right, let's be real here. Connor Hellebuck in Winnipeg, he's kind of gotten unlucky at certain points this year. So this Canadian division's very, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. It's very wishy-washy.
It's kind of like basically every team has a strength and every team has a major weakness in that division. Some teams just have every weakness. So I mean, but Markstrom himself, 924 save percentage, 238 goals against. That's really good. I mean, in terms of fantasy, he's number 3 in goaltending. So Hellebuck's top 10. So he's 917 save percentage. So not Vezina quality like he was last year, but 917 isn't bad at all. 258 GAA. So, but part of that because, Winnipeg's defense is not great either. I mean, there's no Trouba anymore. I think that's taken full effect now because last year kind of got evened out because Neil Pionk was playing really well. That was definitely a fluke. Neil Pionk's not a number 1 D pair type guy. Neither is Morrissey. They don't have that big staple on defense that you're like, oh, I'm scared of him. Winnipeg just scores. They score a lot of goals, and that's their strength. And they kind of give up on defense. But, yeah, Ottawa sucks. Toronto, they're up and down. You know how to play. I mean, they're doing well, but that's all they do. They go up and down and score. Yeah. So, and that's basically every game. I think excuse me, that's my bad. I think that the most complete teams in the division are Montreal and Calgary. I know I was against Calgary a few weeks ago, but the reason is I think Montreal and Calgary, they're complete in all 3 areas. And I feel like when they get to the playoffs, maybe in the deeper rounds, they'll have a better time matching up against other teams.
Yeah.
And this is a year, too, where you look at a Canadian team where, all right, you're playing in division until you get to the conference final. This is a year a Canadian team can sneak into the cup final. And, you know how it is. You get that once you get there, it's 4 games. It's put together a couple. You're playing good hockey at the right time and you catch people by surprise. So this is a year kind of like baseball was last year with, the Rays getting in. Obviously, it's a short season, good enough team. But, hey, if you're playing good hockey, you could steal a cup potentially. But that's how I see it with this Canadian division. Let's say Montreal gets hot at the right time. Winnipeg, Calgary, even Markstrom in goal. So if these teams can figure a few things out, they could ride it off and get to the final very easily.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'd just like to point out for our listeners that are in our fantasy league, I'm winning. So it's been
Somehow.
a nice little run here. No, Steve, you guys set your lineup, man. That's what it's been. I think you'd still be winning.
I forgot last night. I've been my teams looking at this. So I had false positive Stamkos. I thought he was going to be out with COVID, so I didn't take him off the IR. Cirelli's on the IR, so I got screwed there. But I know I forgot to set my lineup a couple of days, and we're still within striking distance, very, very, very well. As long as CJ and Shap don't win, it's fine.
Yeah, no, CJ twice now. I'll make this public. He's had me manually change his lineup. He gets to set it, and so he's done that a few times. I had to put in Gensel last night for him, but Let's look at these standings real quick. We'll check out a few other teams that may be surprising us. Hold on just a second.
Here, Jacob, while you look at that, I want to talk about Toronto here for a second.
Yes.
How far away is this team from winning a cup? Like, honestly, how do you blow a 5-1 lead to Ottawa? Like, that blows my mind. This team, we are in a league right now, I think, where defensive hockey wins championships. As much as scoring is up right now, as much as people want to see goals, defense wins you championships right now. You saw the Lightning, the 62 wins, great, whatever. Didn't win a fucking game in the playoffs. They learned how to play defensively. They win a championship. What does Ottawa do? They go out, or what does Toronto do? Excuse me. They go out and pick up Zach Bogosian and trade for Alex Galchenyuk. Like, whoop-de-doo. That team is, until they get a bona fide start, I don't think Freddie Anderson, I don't think he can push them to a cup. I don't think they have the defensive corps to get them to a cup. I think this team, as good as they are up front, I don't think they're anywhere near winning a cup. I don't think they're old enough. I don't think they're mature enough to do it. They definitely don't have the core in place. Like Matthews, Tavares, Marner, Nylander, great, whatever. You can score. Can you keep the puck out of your net? Clearly not if you're giving up 5 unanswered goals to fucking Ottawa. That team is – I want to be high on them. I really do. But that team is just light years away from winning a cup, and last night proved it.
Yeah, when your defensive core is Zach Bogosian, Brody, Dermott, Lettman, Muzzin, Morgan Riley, and Sindine, I think you're going to have some problems here. I mean, holy shit. I mean, I'm looking at Bogosian, and then you go and sign 50-year-old Joe Thornton as a center. Oh, that's going to solve our problems, guys.
A winning pedigree, eh?
Yeah, get Jimmy Vesey in there, Wayne Simmons.
Yeah, Wayne Simmons too. They got a scrappy guy, but yeah, Toronto. There's a team that just prides themselves on scoring, and come playoff time, we saw that worked out last year. Look what happened when they played Columbus. Columbus punched him in the face, and they go, "Hey, good luck scoring 6 goals because we're going to frustrate you, and we're going to win this game 2-1. Whether it takes 5 overtimes, we win in regulation, and we're going to find a way to beat you." And that's the team that is ultimately. Toronto's Achilles heel is a team that plays that solid defense, and they ran into that Columbus team. They get beat in the qualifying round. And I look at that. I look at this Toronto team, the same thing with the Panthers. They're a team that they go, we're going to score 6 goals a game. Good luck keeping up with us. Adam made a great point. 62 win season for the Lightning doesn't mean shit. They just went out and scored as many goals they wanted to. Ran into Columbus. We shut you down. Florida, same thing. They run into a team that come playoff time that can, put the hatches down. They're going to be in trouble. So that's what you look at in this NHL, this league now is, can you play good defensive hockey when it matters? And that's how you're going to win the cup. And so I think Montreal can do a ton of damage come playoff times because they had the goaltending and they had the defensive personnel to really, buckle down, and they can score too. So they got all the pieces.
Yeah. And my last thing on Toronto, and then we'll talk about other divisions because I could rant about Toronto for fucking days. But, the Lightning last year, they run into Columbus, go, oh shit, we have to keep the puck out of our net. They make the changes. They win the cup. Last year, Toronto runs into Columbus, says, oh shit, we can't keep the puck out of our own net. What do? Well, what did they do? Like, someone answer that, please.
It's totally true. I mean, you know your problem and you don't fix it. Make a trade. Trade one of those forwards. If you traded either Marner or Nylander, you could have kept Matthews and Tavares. Those guys are staying. Trade Nylander or Marner. You don't need those guys. They're great to have, but they're not necessary when you don't have a single defenseman that you could say, okay, I know he's going to be good for me. And you don't have a goaltender either. I mean, the goaltending market, this free agency, Carolina, Edmonton, Toronto, Vancouver – those are just off the top of my head. That's 4 teams. They could have done so much more at goaltender. You have Columbus sitting there with Merzlikins and Korpisalo. They're like, hey, we want to trade one of them, and nobody calls, nobody makes a deal. You have Dallas. They're like, hey, we just signed Khudobin, and we still have Ben Bishop. Nobody called to go get Ben Bishop. There were goaltenders out there, plus the free – fucking Thomas Greiss sign with the Red Wings. Like, what's going on? They're a terrible team, and they signed a good goaltender. Thomas Greiss is better than Koskinen in Edmonton. It's ridiculous. I don't know why teams don't look at goalie more seriously. There are teams that go to the playoffs for years because of their goalie. Montreal is the perfect example. Nashville, they were led to the playoffs because of their defensive core and Pekka Rinne. And then right when Pekka Rinne started to suck, the Predators are irrelevant. And now they have UC Saros and they can't do anything. Penguins, same thing. Matt Murray was great. He starts to suck. Now they have no idea what they're doing at goalie. They're a middling team in the division. It's all about goaltending. It's all about defense. It's pretty frustrating. But another first place team we got to talk about, the Boston Bruins. They're 10-2-2. They ain't shit. I'm telling you, the Rangers. The Rangers, and listen, the Rangers are not some. They're not a bad team. They're not a great team. Did we overanalyze them? I was pressured by Steve. He put them in second place. I'm like, hey, I'm a Ranger fan. I feel like I got to put them in the playoffs. If I got Steve sitting here saying second place. And by the way, Steve, my dad was very happy on the Ranger pod to call both of us out for saying the Rangers are going to make the playoffs. He said, "Oh, you young people making assumptions," But yeah, Rangers.
Listen, it's going to be like D-Day when we storm Normandy with the Rangers. All right, we're going to fucking roll in there late in season, and they're going to make a push on the front line. I'm telling you, this team's not bad, man. This team's not bad.
They're not. No.
And it goes back to the point you made with the division. They played Pittsburgh like 5 times in a row to start the season. I mean, great. I mean, they lost five of the 6 games to start the season by 1 goal. This team's not. I mean, tonight, if they get beat by the Devils, I might have to come back on here and then just kind of cancel my whole idea.
Well, hey, but tonight there's no Panarin or Keandre Miller. They're both injured, but that's still no excuse.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Dude, hey, Zibanejad hasn't done anything. Like, nothing. He's been invisible. He's had 1 good game in like the last 10. I think he has 4 points. There was a game the other night. There were 2 consecutive plays on the same shift. I was on the phone with my dad. I'm like a minute delayed. He's like, he stayed silent. He's like, I'm going to wait for you to see what I just saw. Zibanejad had a wide open lane. He fakes a shot. He takes a big slapper and he turned it into a pass and missed the guy in the corner of the net. He doesn't know when to shoot. He doesn't know when to pass. Totally conflicted right now. No Hedl in the lineup. Tony DeAngelo drama is all big. They don't have a third guy on the defense. It's just not that, Hedl's injured. I think I just said that. Panarin's out for the last 2 or 3 games. They haven't had the right mix of anything for a consecutive period of time to string together wins. I think maybe they'll get there because, again, Boston, they're not shit. We played them 1-goal games both times.
1-0 game on Friday night. And that was a game where a really bad goal let in by who was in net? Was it who was in net on Friday night? I think it was.
It might have even been Georgiev. It might have been.
I think it was Grigoriev. It was on the post side. Puck slipped through the arm slot, and it goes
Igor.
in.
It was Igor. Yeah,
it was Igor. That was a slugfest. Talk about a great old school hockey game. That was 1-0. Bad goal gets let in, but there were 4 or 5 fights. Remember, I think it was Richie that rolls into Igor, and then the Rangers didn't take pleasantry to that, and they just freaking. And I think it was Lemieux. Freaking blows the doors off one of the Bruins guys. And the Bruins guy had the audacity to go to the box and he's like, we're going again. And he's talking shit. I'm like, bro, you just get your face kicked in, bro. Like, get out of here. But they go back to that. You lost in overtime on Wednesday, 3-2, great game. And you lost 1-0 on Friday. So this Rangers team, I'm telling you that if they find the right mix at the right time and they start scoring more goals, this team knows how to play defense and they can lock it down at certain times. And I'm not gonna write them off yet because this once again this alignment creates the factor of you can gain points quick, and the Bruins ain't shit either. You shut that first line down, they're over.
Done. Seriously, yeah, that's seriously it with them. First line, they're done.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I want to say about this team, I think Lafreniere was 1 goal. That's it. Right?
No, he has to step up, period. He's another rookie that comes to the Rangers and just forgets how to play hockey.
You guys can't develop prospects for shit. Like, you can't do it. Shesterkin, okay, he developed in the KHL. He's been okay. But Kako, He hasn't impressed me. Lafreniere, he's 1 point.
Well, Keandre Miller's been great. Adam Fox has been great.
Yeah, I mean, still, the one thing I will say though is Steve was talking about kind of how it got rough against, I think it was Boston the other night in the 1-0 game. I have always, like, when they dealt Kevin Hayes and they got back Brendan Lemieux, I've always been a fan of that move. That brings in grit, brings in third line hustle. I've always been a fan of that move. Yeah, as far as Zibanejad goes, I think he's just got to score one here. When a player's not shooting the puck, when he's got a lane like that, it just tells me he's holding the stick a little too tight. He's trying to make the cute play instead of just getting pucks to the net. That's how you know I think he's struggling a little bit right now. I think he's just got to pot one, and I think you're going to see him kind of loosen up a bit, get the monkey off his back, and I think he'll start tucking a few. I think same with Lafreniere. A 3-on-3 goal, while it is a game winner, it's a 3-on-3. It's more open ice. There's more lanes. I think that benefits his game. I think he's got to get a 5-on-5 goal for him to get going a little bit, or at least start putting up some assists just for his game to step up. And the last thing I'll say about the Rangers is, where they're sitting right now. My Ottawa pick that they were going to be decent, horrible. My San Jose pick that they were going to make the playoffs, not looking too good. But my Rangers pick about them missing the playoffs, I'm still holding on to that. And I hope you prove me wrong. I said that in that pod, that I hope you prove me wrong about the Rangers. But I'd be happy if that pick holds up. At least give me something to be right about. Because right now it ain't looking too good.
Do I dabble in some Rangers money line tonight?
No.
Who they play?
No.
Let's see. The starting lineup for your New York Rangers. Chris Kreider, Mika Zibanejad, Colin Blackwell.
Oh.
In goal, Igor Shesterkin tonight. All right. Well, and they have Mackenzie Blackwood starting at goal. That guy's disgusting.
He's
pretty good. He's 2-0-1 with the 1-9 this year. 9.48 save percentage.
And he's young too. He's young.
Just need the Rangers to shoot everything at the net tonight.
Seriously, just shoot. That's another thing. Like Coach Quinn, he's always like, shoot. You can hear him during games because there's no fans, and you could just hear him yelling, shoot, the whole game. He's like a fan on the bench.
And that's why they score a ton of goals too, is because they just throw everything at the net, and you get a nasty rebound, a tip in, something like that. Teams that the Lightning, the Rangers, I've noticed watching them a few times this year. Sometimes the Capitals get too cute with it. Don't shoot the puck. You have enough goal scorers and enough guys with great shots. Throw the puck at the net. Good things will come from that. So
that's a team I like. We underrated Washington. They're legit.
Very.
Like, they're experienced. They're physical. They won without their four of their best players with the whole COVID thing. They've proven that they're legit.
And
concerns me with their goaltending. It's concerning.
Yeah. No, Samsonov or whoever the other guy is. Yeah, no, it's not too pretty.
What, Washington?
At times, though, they can draw. At times, did you watch the game on Super Bowl Sunday where they have I think it was 4-1 lead, and all of a sudden they lose this game 6-4? I was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah,
but it's early. It's young.
When Samsonov went on COVID list and Vanacek had to come in, I didn't know who that kid was. I don't think he started a game. He went undefeated, I think, in that run where he had to start games.
Yeah.
So I think their team, if their weakness is a goalie, I think this team could go far. Playoffs is all about, I think, getting hot at the right time, and no one can ride a hot streak like a goaltender. I think Washington is going to be a real threat in the playoffs. I would love to see a Washington-Boston series because I think Washington would expose some of Boston's flaws right now. Because let's be real, Boston's sitting at the top of the standings right now. They're a good hockey team. I don't think they're anywhere close to where they were in 2019 when they made the Cup Finals run. They're in the top of the division, but they're not that good of a team, in my opinion.
Hey, is Philly still frauds? Are we still on that case?
Yeah, fuck them. I hate them too. Let me go check them out real quick. I gotta pull them up and look.
They're second place, 8-3-2. It's just like
I just don't know how to, like, I'm looking at their schedule. They score 6 goals, 6-5, then they score 1, then they score 5, then they score 1, then they score 6, and then they score 1. I mean, I'm looking at this. There's no middle ground for this team. It's either, hey, we're going to blow the bricks off this team, or we're getting shut out by some mediocre goalie like Linus Ullmark, 1-0 against Buffalo. Like, really? Are you?
He pisses me off too, Linus Ullmark.
So
poor Buffalo.
Yeah. No, but Giroux is not who he used to be, by the way. Giroux is like totally fallen off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
It's this year has been so odd. Like teams that you think that I don't know, like Buffalo, I haven't really heard of them at all whatsoever this year. And
Well, that's because they
and
went on.
Philly,
They got COVID broke. They had to.
oh, they did, yeah.
Well, either way, they were relevant before that. Like Buffalo, they said Buffalo's going on postponed for a few weeks, and I was like, okay, like does that affect anything? Like, congrats.
Yeah, like a lot of these teams have been going on these hiatuses because of COVID. Like Dallas, last 2 games got postponed. COVID again. That's their second stint with this. So, and that's you look at the Canadian division. A lot of these games are coming on 20 games. They're approaching. I think Vancouver played their 19th game last night. In Canada, I don't think any of these teams have had any postponements, which is, I mean, hey, travel restrictions. You're not going anywhere. Maybe it's proving to work in their kind of bubble system, as you would call it. But it is what it is. You can't live in a bubble in the regular season. You got to go and play teams. So it'd be interesting. We still got a lot of ways to go to unfold this shortened season. It feels like we've played 30 games, but it's only been like 10.
Yeah, no, and technically it's a quarter of the way through the regular season. It's kind of weird. It feels like it just started, but yeah, the only division we haven't talked about is the Honda West. I hate these sponsorship names. It's going to bug me every time I say that, but Vegas way up 10-2-1. St. Louis, we knew that. Colorado slumping a little bit. Who cares? They're one of those teams. They know who they are. They know they're going to make the playoffs. They know when they have to push the gas pedal, they're going to push it. Not worried about Colorado at all. But the team I said on our previews, Arizona's a little bit better than people think. They're 7-6-2 though. They're just in the playoffs because of that division. But Minnesota struggled. I thought maybe they would make a little bit of a run. But this division's pretty boring. We know it's going to be Vegas, St. Louis, Colorado. Whoever that fourth team is going to be out in one round. And, after that, it's going to be, who advances after that.
Yeah, you look at this division. I'm looking at the plus minus. That's what you look at when you come playoff time. Is like who's trending in the right direction. I mean, Anaheim, I'm a -10, San Jose -13, Kings -4. Even in Arizona, they're a -2, and they're in the third spot. They played St. Louis 7 times in a row this last week. So it's a 3-headed race once again. Colorado, they were dealing with some COVID issues. They lost 1-0 to Vegas the other night. Great defensive game. They're back at it again tonight against each other. So yeah, I see the matchup I see going to the conference final. I think it's going to be Vegas and Colorado. I really do. Maybe St. Louis slips in, but they've had their issues. I don't think they're the team they are without Pietrangelo, lacking scoring ability in certain points. So I think it's going to be Vegas, Colorado. Winner of that's going to, I believe, is going to the Cup final and representing that West side.
Yeah, and by the way, Bowen Byram is an absolute stud.
Yep, unreal.
Yeah, no, he's been playing really well. So, all right, yeah. So we went over everything. I know the Lake Tahoe game is this weekend. I've heard the Flyers are still postponed. They might replace the team. Haven't heard any rumors for who that might be. So that's going to be an awesome game. Steve, you sent me the pictures this morning. The NHL post. It looks sick. Yep. What time is that game, by the way?
3.
I believe, 3:00. Yeah.
It's because it's on the golf course. So they have to do it before sunset, I guess.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll be calling the FAU UCF, so maybe I'll put it on my laptop out there. But
yeah, I wish I was going to be down there. I'm going to be up in Virginia. It's like 12 degrees. You freeze my nuts off up there.
Yeah, no, hey, we'll get you in there eventually. And it's good news for anyone who's from FAU listening to this. We're going to get to broadcast the FAU baseball games this year. So it's going to be awesome. And we're starting again this weekend on FAUAllRadio.com. Strictly Baseball will be back sometime this week. There's been moves that have been made that we got to talk about. Strictly Sports, we haven't done one since the Bucks won the Super Bowl. And since Steve has been partying his ass off in Tampa, having some fun up there. And we'll get CJ on for that one. Strictly Yankees, we just did one. Strictly Rangers, we'll post either tonight or tomorrow. And for this edition of Strictly Hockey, you can find us on Twitter, Strictly Sports P, on Instagram and Facebook at Strictly Sports Productions. For Steve Cashin and Adam Kupferman, I am Jacob Brown, and we will see you next time.